Welcome to Retire Right TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Paul Roberts. Paul is President and CEO of Roberts Wealth Management. Paul, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you today, Cynthia?
I am doing fantastic. It's so good to see you and to spend time with you. I know you have been extremely busy, so I love that you take the time to be on the show. It's an amazing blessing to have you.
I have so much fun on the show with you, Cynthia. You know, and the show's been such a big hit. We've done fantastic. We feel like we're really reaching a lot of Gulf Coast residents, showing them that there are other, better, different ways than the old traditional ways to think of retirement and investments. And
Sure.
we've been getting a lot of great questions and a lot of great feedback. So it's just been tremendous. It's been great.
It has been. I love the viewer questions that come in because we never know what we're going to get when we have that list that's handed to us when the phones are lighting up, and I love to see what's printing out. And it's always amazing because it's kind of like a mixed variety of previous shows that kind of come together, and I love that. So are you amazed by how many people have a lot of questions regarding retirement and investments per se?
Oh, definitely. And people should be out there questioning, right?
Yeah.
This is, you know, we live in a do-it-yourself retirement world today where everybody's responsible for making sure they get themselves. Things like pensions are a thing of the past. So people don't have that retirement security, so they really have to educate themselves a lot. They have to ask a lot of questions, and they have to dive in and make sure they're making the decisions that are really right for them, you know, so.
I agree.
And the questions have been great, like you mentioned. I love that the fact that we're starting to see the questions come in, and they're questions from previous shows or things we had mentioned before. So that just really lets you know that people are tuning in. They're you know, building and devising questions, and they're coming back. So we're provoking thought, right? That's the purpose.
Are. And I think we should do just one show that are only viewer questions because I think that would be awesome. We'd be all over the place with the different topics that we've covered. But, you know, Paul, you're so passionate about people taking control of their finances and taking control of their retirement. You have such a servant's heart. Can you explain where that passion comes from?
Yeah, well, you know, that's the way we were raised, and that's also just part of who we are. You know, I believe that every day of your life you should be adding value to the community. You should be improving and changing lives, and if you can help in those ways, and God has given you traits and talents and attributes to do so, it's your responsibility to use them and to help encourage the world to a better place. And we kind of feel like we're doing that in the financial industry. You know, we feel like we're the new age financial firm and what the future looks like in the industry. And we feel like we're changing lives. Everyone that we meet and everyone that comes in, and we've helped them plan out retirement. They've got a rock solid retirement plan. We feel like we've really done some good service to the community, and we've helped touched another life, and it's really valuable.
Absolutely. And people have called in and they've mentioned that when they come into the office and they see you or one of your all-star advisors, they feel like they're getting very individualized attention. They never feel like they're being rushed, and they never feel like any question is silly, like you take the time to answer anything that someone comes in with.
That's it. Well, because they get that feeling because that's actually what's happening. You know, we're concerned with the individual. One of the problems with our industry is too much cookie cutter, right?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand is standardization is normal. It has to occur in our industry. It's got to occur in any industry because if a business wants to scale themselves large enough to have thousands of offices around the United States, how do they control or handle that business model? Well, it's got to be scalable, right? So it's got to be standardized. And so that's what a lot of people don't understand is when you're dealing with a large corporation, you know, naturally people feel more comfortable and more secure with a large corporation, but then you're going to get a standardized process. Whereas if you meet with an independent firm or a fiduciary firm such as ours, you're going to get that individualized advice, that individualized concern, and that individualized planning that is built and designed for you and your family and your needs. And people, I think a lot of people are waking up to that today. A lot of people are moving in that direction. You know, the needs of people and the consumer out there is changing. I don't think, you know, for many generations, last few generations of this country, we have been kind of programmed to believe corporations are secure, and that's your best place to go. I think people are really opening their eyes and seeing, you know what, I don't get what I need on an individual basis there. And I would much rather have someone I can sit down at a table and look across the table and look them in the eye and talk to them and know that they're concerned with my individual situation. So it's a great thing. I think we're the future of the financial world, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun ride.
Absolutely. Well, I am just so excited about all of the growth that you've had through the years. And I know, how many advisors do you have on staff?
We have 3 currently, and they're all fantastic at their job. I think the most important aspect of our advisors is who they are as people.
Yes.
Because my hiring and who we put on our team, who you are as a person, your ethics, what you believe in, your belief structure is more important to me than any other type of credentials or licensing.
Yeah.
Not that they're lacking. My advisors are highly intelligent, highly trained. They're very advanced and sophisticated compared to most advisors out there.
Yeah.
But what matters most is they all accept and believe in the notion that every day we're waking up to try to add value to people's lives and change people's lives for the better.
Absolutely.
And that's their intent all day, every day. So when someone comes to sit down with them and talk with them, in the conversation, you're going to naturally feel that way and know that. That's going to come out.
Yeah.
Because if someone's intent is true, you'll know it and you'll feel it, right?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So I've met Carter, who's one of your advisors, and he's just amazing, just like you. He's very personal. He's very passionate about his client base and also his family. Who am I missing besides Carter?
Miss Heidi, artist. And so we're actually, one day we'll get Heidi on a show.
Love
we'll
that.
bring her in. Yeah. She's quite the tiger, you know. Heidi, she's something. I have a lot of respect for her, and I think highly of her. And she's been an excellent addition to the team. She really contributes a lot. She brings a lot to the table. They all do, and
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why I'm constantly bragging about my all-star team. We've got a team of all-stars.
Well, you work really well together, and I know that client functions are important to you as well.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about that. You've done some pretty amazing things in the past. Can we talk a little bit about those?
Sure. Oh, well, we have, different client. We try to have a client event at least every 2 months of the year.
Okay.
We have them for a lot of reasons. First of all, we're into relationship building with our clients. We're not into, here you got your retirement plan and you're good. No, it's a continuous progress and continually monitoring and watching and upkeeping. It's also a continuous education process. So we encourage our clients to come around, stick around, be around as much as possible, build that relationship as tight as possible, always educate yourselves. And then we have a lot of fun together, and we do a lot of good for the community. We're always doing a lot of fundraising. Every single event that we have today, my clients, they know, hey, bring some cash or a check with you when you come, because Paul's going to have a fantastic charity for us to support, and I'm going to put a little pressure on them. At the events, I tell my clients all the time, hey guys, open up your pocketbooks. I happen to have a little insight to y'all's financial situation, and I know you could afford a $20 donation today for this wonderful cause. And so, but they're fantastic. It's I can't tell you the amazing feeling. Like our Christmas dinner last year, we raised over $8,000 for some really good causes for children.
Yeah.
And when you walk out of that room at the end of the night, and 400 people have been there in the Christmas spirit, happy, grateful, thankful, appreciating life and loving each other, and then they've all donated to this wonderful cause. You leave that event, so at the end of the night, you're just so high on life.
Floating.
You're floating,
you
man.
have to be floating.
You are. You feel wonderful for weeks afterwards. It's truly remarkable. We love it.
Well, Paul, you are amazing, and I think we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines for the very first time this week. Would you like me to tell the viewers what they can expect to receive today? Give you a break from talking? To our viewing audience at home, that number to call is 228-388-2031. For the next 15 callers, Paul is offering you a complimentary consultation to come in to sit with him, allow him to take a look at what your plans are for retirement. Let's see if you're on the right track. Even if you have a plan in place, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Paul is offering that to you complimentary, no charge at all. The number to call once again is 228-388-2031. Again, this offer is for the first 15 callers. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have more questions and answers for Paul about planning your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only. To set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation, full-blown financial review today.
And welcome back to Retire Right TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Paul Roberts, and Paul is President and CEO of Roberts Wealth Management. Paul, I love how when we were opening up the phone lines, they started lighting up right away, and obviously people are excited to receive that complimentary consultation with you or one of the other advisors in the office. I want to talk a little bit about people that are maybe coming in with just a plan in place, or perhaps their statements that they've received. Are you able to help them uncover hidden fees that they're not even aware they're paying?
Oh, well, hidden fees, costs, things of that nature, you know, and we've had this discussion many times, so we'll share it with our viewers. You know, a lot of them, they don't know all the discussions we have in the background offset and everything of that nature, right? But you hear us always talking about, you have two choices. You can go after and try to make a sure thing dollar, or you can go after a maybe dollar. What we find a lot of the time is everyone's attention is so focused on just growth and making all the maybe dollars that they don't realize they're skipping over sure thing dollars. And which, when we say a sure thing dollars, we mean, how do we save $1 in taxes? How do we save $1 in fees? How do we save $1 in commissions, right? And if we save someone $1 in fees or commissions, then we put $1 in their pocket, right? So which one is easier, to save $1 or to go take risk and go after growth and hopefully maybe make $1? Right? So we've also started a new program at our office. It's been a big hit. All of the new and incoming clients have loved it, and from our workshops, we're doing it on our radio show today, but it's what we call our price match guarantee. So we tell people, look, everyone should get a full analysis of their current situation. Everyone should get a second opinion, right? If it was your health, you would see a second doctor or get you a second opinion, and it's no different when it comes to your retirement planning. But in that second opinion, what we do is we do a third-party, non-biased evaluation of their current situation. And in this non-biased third-party report, it brings to the surface all the internal fees, internal costs, and then all the buried costs that people are unaware of and don't know, or they're paying in their portfolio. And so we have this price match guarantee. It says, hey, if you want to come and sit down with us at the office and do, a complete second opinion on your current situation, we will guarantee you that we can reduce the cost of your portfolio or match the price you're paying if you'd like to work with us. And if you can't, I'd be more than happy to send you and your loved one to dinner at a restaurant of your choice. So people really have nothing to lose, right? Go spend an hour, empower yourself, make sure you're in the right position, make sure you're doing the best thing for yourself, make sure you understand the cost associated with what you're doing and you're not losing money. Worst case scenario, you're doing great. At the end of the review, we say you're doing great, and if we can't beat the cost, we're going to treat you to dinner, right? So
absolutely,
it's a win-win for the people, right? So
get to save money potentially and have a nice meal. So there you go.
Right.
So I want to ask you. So obviously, if people are unaware of fees that can be hidden in these portfolios, if you will, that can actually change their bottom line amount for retirement for years to come. If you're paying fee after fee after fee and you're unaware, it's going to drop down. Definitely.
And well, a lot of people understand compounding on the surface, right? They understand that compound interest is what helps us. What a lot of people don't understand, and it's never talked about in the financial world, is compounding can take the reverse effect on you, right? Even if it's just, what we call bips, 50 bips or 0.5%. Well, a half of a percent in savings on a portfolio over 20 years compounded is a major difference in life.
Absolutely.
So if you're saving that money, you have positive compounding.
Yeah.
if you're paying these fees and exorbitant cost and you're unaware of it, then you're not. Compounding's taking a reverse effect on you. It's slowly dwindling your purchasing power and your income power of your portfolio. And a lot of Americans are susceptible to that and have no idea. Most people who come in our office and do a fee analysis are completely astonished by what their fees are.
Sure.
They were told one thing on the surface, oh yeah, your portfolio cost 1%. We do an analysis, we find all these buried and internal fees, and it ends up they're paying 2.4% for that same portfolio and not getting a whole lot of management for the fees they're paying. And so it's a real eye-opening thing that we do for people. You know, that second opinion analysis, it's empowering, it's eye-opening, it's educating.
Yeah.
Everyone out there should take advantage of getting it and sitting down, see how we can improve your situation, how we can reduce cost.
Absolutely, absolutely. Paul, I want to take a couple moments just to talk to you a little bit about tax planning for retirement. Do you feel that that's something that's very important for people to do? Because I know that a lot of people feel like when they hit the retirement years that taxes are going to go down, that they're just going to have to pay less. Are you finding that to be true, and is tax planning an important part of a retirement plan?
To us, tax planning is everything about retirement planning.
Okay.
Especially when we know, like we've talked about before, today taxes are on sale.
Right.
And we have these wonderful new low rates and this wonderful new tax bill that we only have for 4 more years.
Yeah.
And we know it's inevitable that taxes are going up in the future. And what scares me is I don't think that enough financial advisors out there are paying attention to the tax situation or projecting and looking forward to where we're going. And so they're not having these conversations with their clients, hey, how do we get tax savvy? How do we position ourselves to be in a better place in the future? How do we position ourselves before laws change to put ourselves and our family in a better position? But I'm a tax nerd, so it's kind of a little bit different. I have some strange life goals, but I have $0 in pre-tax retirement accounts, my wife and I, for our own retirement savings.
Okay.
My number one life goal is that when I retire, I will never file a tax return again.
Okay.
I will never pay any taxes again. Now, I will do so 100% legally, and I will have a lot of secure income, and we will have a nice, happy life. We just will not have to file tax returns and pay taxes on our nice life. So no matter what comes in the future, no matter what tax laws change, no matter what Social Security laws change, I know I've prepared my wife and I for a good retirement.
Absolutely.
Because we're positioned correctly tax-wise. And I don't think people pay enough attention or stress enough how important the taxation and tax positioning and tax strategizing for the future is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think with that statement alone that you just made, the phone lines are going to go crazy because who wouldn't want to have their retirement years feel that way? Talk about being able to sleep at night with peace of mind.
That's it. You have to know where we're headed.
Yeah.
And when is a good time to start positioning yourself for where we're heading? Now, or should you wait until the laws change and we get there? Right?
Absolutely.
Got to get ahead of these things.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, we're about ready to open up the phone lines for the second time this week. Can you tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in today?
Sure. Next 15 callers call the show. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a complimentary full-blown retirement assessment. Now, what that includes is we'll sit down with you. You'll have a conversation with me or one of my all-star advisors. We'll walk you through the process of looking at your current situation. We'll give that second opinion fee, cost, and risk analysis. Bring to the surface what you're paying for your portfolio, what kind of bang for your buck you're getting, and is it worthwhile, right? Then we'll do a tax analysis. That's when the fun begins. We start trying to figure out how do we position ourselves going forward, how do we create tax advantages and tax strategies for ourselves, and that all rolls into having a good and solid income plan and tax efficient income plan. But by the time we get through with this process, you have a fully funded, fundamental retirement plan that you can feel really good and confident about moving forward. It's a very easy process. It's a very casual conversation. So pick up the phones, give us a call today, 228-388-2031. Come sit down with our All-Star advisors and let's see how we can provide value in your life.
Thank you so much, Paul. To the viewers at home, that number to call once again is 228-388-2031. We realized the phone lines were busy during our last commercial break. We've added an additional phone line for your convenience. That number to call once again is 228-388-2031. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have more questions and answers with Paul about planning your perfect stress-free retirement. Please stay tuned.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Retire Right TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Paul Roberts, and Paul is President and CEO of Roberts Wealth Management. Paul, a great show. I love talking to you about retirement and talking about hidden fees that can be uncovered by coming in to sit with you and planning a tax-free retirement. That is just an awesome array of topics that we've covered in just that short period of time. I'd like to spend the next segment with viewer questions because we've had so many through the weeks that I think we should try to tackle at least a few each show.
I agree.
Would that be okay?
And like you said, we're going to have to dedicate one entire show to questions because they're starting to build up on us a little, and we want to make sure that we're getting all of our viewers answered and getting them the information they need. So let's go for it.
More, Paul.
Let's
Absolutely.
go for it. What do you have for us today, Cynthia?
All right. So here's the first one I have, Paul. It says, Paul, I have most of my money in a traditional IRA. I'm 66 years old and I'm still working. Is it better to convert to a Roth IRA and invest? Am I able to transfer the stocks in the traditional IRA, or do I have to sell them? What advice do you have for me? I love your show.
Right. Awesome.
Yay.
What was their age, Cynthia?
So she said 66, or he. I shouldn't say she.
He
it
or
didn't
she.
actually
All right.
say.
That is a question that we can't entirely answer because we don't know enough about their individual situation. Okay. Well, one of the big factors would be: are they retired already, or are they still working? You know, that's why I was asking about the age. 66, maybe I'm assuming they're probably retired, but they could still be working.
Yes.
So that's going to be a factor. And if they are retired, are they drawing income from their assets yet?
Okay.
And then what it is then to take from there, you got to go a little bit further in depth. It gets a lot more complex and advanced. We got to start looking into their individual tax bracket. You know, where are they and how much can we afford to do in a Roth conversion right now? Can we afford to convert the entire IRA to a Roth? Or is that going to put them at too high of a tax bracket? Do we need to do it slowly each year over time? But to answer their question simply, a Roth conversion is a great idea if it works for your individual situation. You have a lot of other factors that have to come into play there, you know, your streams of income and everything. But if it works for you, it's a great thing. We highly encourage you to do so. We have been doing a lot of Roth conversions in the last 2 years for our new and incoming clients and our client base. So, give us a call today.
Definitely.
Come sit down with one of our All-Star advisors, see what kind of advanced tax strategies they have for them.
Absolutely. Great answer, Paul. And again, it's advice that really can only be given by sitting with someone face to face, because there's a lot of variables that play into these questions.
And that's the tough part for our viewers. A lot of time they ask questions and they want a direct answer, and I never want people to feel that I'm dodging their answer. We're answering the best we can, but we may not have all the information or variables in the picture that we need to assess to make the right decisions, right?
Absolutely. So. I agree. Well, we have another question here. I'm just going to throw it at you, Paul, if you don't mind. I'm 55 years old and have been with the same company for about 15 years. I've always had a 401k and I'm taking advantage of the match. Now the company is offering me a Roth 401k. Should I be contributing to it as well? Are there any disadvantages? Paul, what advice do you have for me?
Yes. They should be contributing to a Roth IRA. Now, But then coming back to what we were just saying, right, there's other variables that get involved, and so we have to look at their current income status, their current income tax bracket, how important the tax deduction is for their IRA contribution, because if they start making Roth contributions, they're going to lose that tax deduction up front right now,
Okay.
which could be essential to them. So what we have to do is go in there and manage their income and tax brackets and find a nice happy balance in between both.
Sure.
Sometimes people need to put a portion in pre-tax and a portion after tax because they need the deduction, but we also want that tax-free money for the future.
Okay.
But yes, contributing to a Roth period or any after-tax portion in an employee-sponsored plan, anyone and everyone out there who has that option in their 401k or 403b should be contributing at least some to that after-tax or Roth bucket. Tax-free is the way of the future, period.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. So we have actually a couple minutes here for just one final question. It says, Paul, I am actually 5 years away from retiring. I do not have a retirement plan in place. I didn't realize I needed one until watching the show. What advice do you have for me? That's a good one.
Well, you've got 5 years. Let's get started, right?
Okay.
Let's get going, And also, once this viewer says they've at that 5-year point, that's what we refer to as the red zone, right?
Yep.
So it's time to look at your 401k and your investments, start reducing some of that risk, taking some of that off the table. You don't want to be hit while you got one foot out the door right at the end, right? But it's time to sit down and start planning now. And I'm very glad that they're watching the show and realizing that, because if you have 5 years out, it's time to sit down with my All-Star advisors and let's start putting some advanced tax plans together, because we can work some magic over the next 5 years and you can be in a lot better position when you get there.
Absolutely. And Paul, we have less than a minute left of the show. Do you want to tell the viewing audience what they can expect to receive by calling in?
Yeah. The next 15 callers who call us today, normally $1,000 or so that most companies would charge for all the planning that we do. But we're going to sit down with you. We're going to assess your current situation, help you build a tax-efficient income plan that you can depend on the rest of your life. We'll evaluate your current situation, see how we reduce cost. And when we get through at the end of that process, you're going to have a fundamental retirement plan that you can believe in. You can have the confidence that you deserve. So give us a call today, 228-388-2031.
Thank you, Paul. To the viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us again this week. We look forward to seeing you here next week. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and keep those calls coming. We love the questions. We'll see you soon.